Welcome back to the Sports Perspective TV viewers and subscribers. As always, thank you for tuning in. And if you're new to the channel or you haven't subscribed to the channel as yet, we'd really appreciate if you just hit that subscribe button and like the video as usual. Your interaction is very important. So definitely thank you for taking the time out to watch the video and interacting with the video as well. Right. So the first test match between West Indies and South Africa is over. Right. Was a drawn test match. So in this video, we're going to be reviewing the test match. Talking about the performances and whether or not there should be any changes made to the team for the second test match. As you can tell from the thumbnail, should the West Indies make any changes for the second test match? So that's the question that I want you the viewers and subscribers to answer in the comment section as well. Would you or should the team make any changes for the second test match? And also something new that we're going to be doing. So we're going to, at the end of the video, we'll be sharing the comment of the day, where I'll highlight a comment from a previous video and share my thoughts on it as well. So definitely drop your comments, on the videos, because I'll be highlighting a comment of the day in every video that I do and sharing my thoughts on it as well. Right, so without further ado, let's get into the first test match. So there are a few things that I thought about when thinking about when deciding whether or not there should be any changes made to the team for the second test match. And some of them was, so the first thing I thought about was the changes that were made for this test match, right, for the first test match. So in other words, the players that came in for the first test match. I also thought about the performance of the team for the in the first test match, and also the playing conditions or expected playing conditions of the venue in Guyana, where the second test match will be played, right? So I'm going to be starting first with the players that came into the team, right, for the first test match, who are, Casey Carty, Jamel Warrican, and Shamar Roach, right? So they came into the team. And if you ask me, I'll say all of them performed relatively well, right? So Casey Carty, coming into the team, batting in that number 3 position to replace Kurt McKenzie. He scored, he was the top scorer in the first innings, so he scored 41 in the first innings, and I think he scored 30-something in the second innings as well, right? So, decent performance. Ideally, you would love to see him converting those starts into bigger scores, but nevertheless, it was a decent performance by him coming into the team, his debut test match as well, even though he's been on the West Indies cricket scene for a while. This was his first test match. And he came in and he performed creditably well. So, so I would say, as far as Casey Carty goes, no changes. Jamel Warrican likewise, right? He came into the team, he was one that was heavily criticized. His selection was heavily criticized by fans, viewers and subscribers also, and even myself had a bit of doubt about the selection of Jamel Warrican, but he did come in and he took 6 wickets in the test match. He was the highest wicket taker for the team in the test match, and he scored a valuable 35 not out in the first innings for the team as well to get them up to that 233, right? Without him scoring that amount of runs, it probably would have been an even tougher task for us to draw the test match. So Warrican performed creditably well as well, and also Shamar Roach, coming into the team back from injury, he did decent also, right? So he took what in all, I think he took 3 wickets for the match, right? Not spectacular, but decent, and his, especially in the first innings, right? I think he displayed a lot of control, and he definitely challenged the edge of the South African batsmen in the first innings. There were quite a few balls that batsman played and missed, and so I was satisfied with the way Shamar Roach bowled in the first test match, right? So I don't think any of those players that came in, will be changed. I know but as always, this is just my opinion, so definitely share your thoughts in the comment section on this as it regards to these 3 players that came in. Moving on to the second point now, the overall team performance, and this is with both bat and ball, right? So starting with the batting, I would say so the top 5 or top 6 batters, right? All of them, got starts at some point in the match, right? So if you look at the first innings, with Mikhail Louis and Kraig Brathwaite, both of them getting into the 30s, then getting out. Kraig Brathwaite, running a casual single, being casual and not trying to get his bat in the crease and got out. Mikhail Louis, got 35 and got out. Another start for him, which he didn't convert. Casey Carty, likewise, scoring 41 and getting into the 30s for the second innings also. So Alec Atenes, he failed in the first innings, but then came back in the second innings with that brilliant 92 to save the match, right? Kavem Hodge, he got starts in both innings as well. I think he scored 29 in the second innings, and I remember exactly how much his score was in the first innings, right? But these are starts. Jason Hola likewise batting in that critical number 6 position. It was his innings along with Alec Atenes that guided West Indies to draw in the test match. So brilliant batting by him right there. And he scored a bit of runs in the first innings as well, if I remember correctly, right? So after the top 6 batters, while it wasn't spectacular, right? Because 233 in the first innings on a pitch like that is you expect the team to score more than that. And it was just that the batters weren't converting the starts that they got. And that was the difference in the first innings between us and South Africa, right? South African batsmen, they got starts and a few of them converted it to at least half centuries, right? So the Zorzi, him scoring, I think he scores either 70-something or 80-something. Captain Bavuma as well, scoring 80-something in the first innings, right? So they converted their scores. And if there's any criticism I have of Kraig Brathwaite, it is that, right? After getting that start, he should have definitely carried on. He pretty much gave his wicket away by being that casual when taking that single, right? So that's something that I definitely want the batsmen to do better going forward. We saw it in the England series for the most part as well. Batsmen getting starts and not carrying on. So there's a pattern there that the batsmen need to account for and be more responsible and take their wicket more serious and be more focused when they get in, right? Because any wicket is challenging to bat on, right? But after you spend the time at the crease, and get accustomed to the pace of the wicket and score a few runs, you should value your wicket more and be as focused as possible right throughout and not lose your wicket cheaply, after doing the hard work of getting the start and getting comfortable on the wicket. So if there's any criticism for the batting, I would say it's in that regard. The batters did show up, however, in the second innings and drew the test match, getting to 201 for 5. Again, with batters getting starts and getting out, right? Carty, like I said earlier, Hodge also, right? The openers didn't do much, but yeah, so from a batting standpoint, I am satisfied with the way the batters played for the most part in the match. Definitely room for improvement, but I am satisfied with the way the batters played. Bowling wise now, so the bowlers, so overall in the test match, the team took 13 wickets, right? 10 in the first innings and 3 in the second innings, right? With Warwick taking 6 of those wickets, Jaden Seals taking 3 in the first innings, and Kimar Roach taking 2 in the first innings and 1 in the second innings, right? And Jason Hola getting 1 wicket, right? So those were the wicket takers for the team in the overall in the test match, right? So 13 wickets. You can say I would say the bowlers did okay, but as always, there's room for improvement also, right? So from a bowling standpoint, I want to see the team doing better, right? But as far as commending them, definitely commend them for being able to get South Africa all out, taking 10 wickets in the first innings, that's always commendable in any test match, right? Because that's not easy to do against any team, right? Especially South Africa, right? So the bowlers must be commended on that. And we've noticed it in the England series as well, where they in majority of the innings that they played against England, they were able to bowl out England. So the bowlers are taking wickets. It's just a matter of them being more consistent. And in this match, I must say, the control, especially at the beginning of the innings, it was a lot better. South Africa didn't, even though they scored over 350, it wasn't a quick fire 350 like we saw in England, where England would score that in less than 90 overs, right? So there's a lot more control, a lot more economical bowling, from the West Indies team. So we must commend the bowlers on that as well, right? So with all of those points discussed, from both the batting and the bowling, I would not be surprised if there aren't any changes made, to the team, for the second test match, just considering the performance of the batters and the bowlers as well, right? I would not be surprised if they don't make any changes. And when you think about now the expected playing conditions in Guyana, so we saw it in the T20 World Cup where that pitch at the Guyana National Stadium, it's also a bit on the slower side as well. Batsmen struggled to score quickly or to score a lot of runs on that pitch. We saw it in the T20 World Cup. So, it might be a similar pitch to the pitch that we played on here. So, do they go into the match with two spinners again, or do they make changes and maybe bring in something else? So it'll be interesting to see what the team decides. But I think the pitch in Guyana will be similar to how the pitch in Trinidad played. So will be interesting to see what the team does. But definitely share your thoughts in the comment section, as it relates to this, should the team make any changes, right? And so now getting to the comment of the day. So the comment of the day for this video, it comes from, let me pull it up because I don't want to misquote him. So it comes from Oscar Hall, right? And he says here, the captain should be dropped. Also the guy that opened with him, right? So that would mean Kraig Brathwaite and Mikhail Lewis should be dropped for the second test match. What I would say, with Kraig Brathwaite, I can understand the frustration of some of the fans, seeing that he's the most experienced player on the team, and he struggled, over the past few months, but I do think he's coming back into a better form, in my opinion. He's what is his issue though? He's not converting the starts as we would like, as often as we like. So in the England series, he scored in the 40s, I think 2 times, scored a half century. Right. So that's decent production. Here again in the first innings of the first test match, we saw where he got to 36 and then got run out. Right. So my criticism of him is that as a captain, he needs to stand up more and bat longer and not be as casual as he was in the first innings when getting run out, right? The second innings, he didn't score, so that he can be criticized for that as well. But overall, I think Brathwaite as a batter, especially in the England series and now in the South African series, he's come along a bit from where he was in prior series. As it relates to Mikhail Lewis, you have to understand that this is his 4th test match, so his second series, and this test match was the first time he has batted and not gotten into double figures, right? So in all the matches against England, he scored into double figures, so he got starts. He got a start in the first innings as well. So his only failure was in the second innings where he only scored 9 runs. I mean, getting into the teens and getting out can be considered a failure as well. But he's been doing well. And like I said, you have to give the batsmen an opportunity to grow, to learn from their mistakes. That's the only way these players are going to develop into quality players. You can't just drop players after one failure or one failed test match. Not only does it affect them mentally, but then you also don't give them the opportunity to grow and learn. So that would be my thoughts on that comment. As always, all your comments are welcome, and I'll be highlighting the next comment a future video as well. So keep dropping your comments on the videos, and you'll definitely highlight them as well. But that's all I have for you in this video, viewers and subscribers. You know, as always, thank you for tuning in. Do remember to like the video, you know, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comment section as always. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video.